Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new series at Planet Destiny that for the moment we're calling Guardian Spotlight. This is where I'll be grabbing a community member and inviting them to an interview here in my hot seat. In this edition, we have a PvP extraordinaire, a thoroughly lovely gentleman and a fantastic teacher and educationalist of all things Crucible. He's our very own CoolGuy. Let's have a round of applause for him and get stuck straight on in.
Well, first of all, I really appreciate you having me, Story. This is awesome. My name is CoolGuy, and I make Destiny content on YouTube, and I've been a part of Planet Destiny for a little bit. You've kind of go in the past, like the original Hopscotch. I did the review for that. But what I like to do on my channel is I like to review guns, and I do a lot of live gameplay commentaries, and really the core of my channel is to try to get better at the game and learn together. That's my main thing. And outside of Destiny, I'm a radiologic technologist in the medical field. Really, it's perfect for me. I love doing it.
You're a real life guardian. You're living
that's
the
right.
legend. That's awesome, man.
And and then I try to do YouTube with all that. So
how long have you played Destiny? Have you been playing since the alpha?
When the game came out, I started as a Titan, and then I saw the Gunslinger. So history goes on from there. I probably have like 80,000 kills on the Hunter, and 70,000 of those are the Gunslinger. And this past meta with all the shotgun rushers, I was running the Gunslinger because that's how I like to play Destiny. Yeah. Basically, I came from Halo. I'm an Xbox guy. I know. I'm still looking for the Jade Rabbit on PlayStation. It's ever elusive. Man. But the deal with the Gunslinger, we talk about neutral game. You got your Warlocks with your grenades and melees. With the Titan, they got their shoulder charge, their smash. But the Gunslinger is your gunplay. That's the neutral game. Chain of Woe, Gunslinger's Trance. It makes every single gun that you use better. And especially right now, this switch that we made with this patch, this 2502, the Gunslinger's starting to show up a little bit. I'm pretty sure you guys are seeing them out there.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. It makes every single gun better. Even mid to long range, its close game isn't too good, especially with that nerf to throwing knives, but we're starting to see them, and I'm really starting to enjoy getting those mid to long range throwing knives again. I've been having a blast, but that is my favorite subclass.
A video that you did not too long ago, that had a really profound effect on me, and I think that summarized your kind of foothold in PvP education and tuition. It was on the new Wrath of the Machine raid hand cannon. Fever and Remedy, that's the one. You did a really good video explaining.
And even right now, actually, I pulled out the Fever the other day with the Gunslinger, and it's even better than it was because we're having these accuracy additions. We're able to actually hit shots, and that gun really is made for the Gunslinger, man. And you don't really see it out there too much. A lot of it has to do with its reload, and it's slow handling, but with the Trance and the Chain of Woe, it makes everything a little bit faster. You can get those reloads off to get the reactive reload kills. So if you guys do have that in your vault, maybe bring it out for the Gunslinger. It's waiting for you. Okay,
here's another one for you. Before playing Destiny, what was your favorite game, if you had one?
It's got to be Halo. Like I said, I'm a Halo guy. And, you learn so much from Halo. We're talking Bungie Halo here, not 343 Halo. So Halo 1 to 2 to 3. What was nice about Halo 3, MLG was a big stand in Halo 3. It kind of made MLG in competitive gaming on console. I know there's, things like CSGO, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, but I loved just how balanced, we'll take Halo 3, how balanced that was. We all had a battle rifle starting off. It was a 4-shot kill. If you didn't hit a headshot with that 4th shot, it could take 6 or 7 body shots. So, it was balanced to that fact, and I always enjoyed that. So I would definitely say Halo.
Okay. What brought you to Destiny?
Bungie. All right. So, I called the 3 Bs in a T, and we're going to go into other games here. Yeah. Bungie, Bethesda, Gearbox, and Treyarch. Every single one of those developers, in my opinion, makes fantastic games. I like the Call of Duty Treyarch games. I like, of course, any Bungie game. So I support these developers. And one thing about Bungie that they do so well that's almost unrivaled is their gunplay. When you play a Bungie game, it feels so good. And honestly, Destiny it plays off of that. A lot of people play Destiny just because of how good it feels, and you don't know why. Well, a lot of it has to do with how they code and how they put in aiming and movement.
If you could summarize a favorite Destiny memory that we've had in the 2.5, 3 years that we've had the game so far, what would it be? Favorite Destiny memory?
Favorite Destiny memory. So honestly, it would be the Vault of Glass. I mean, when that came out, and I still think it's still the best raid, and maybe some people out there is going to disagree, but just the mechanics when it was brand new, they said, all right, the Vault of Glass is live. You got friends together, and it was so tough. Okay, it was so tough to do, but the very first run, somebody got the Vex, right?
Yeah.
Somebody got this, and then everybody was flipping out. And the other would be the first Nightfall, right? Because when the Nightfall first came out, first week, that was all we had. There wasn't a raid, but it was like the end game at the time.
Yeah.
But we had blue guns sometimes with that because it was so early. And one of my friends, the very first thing is, hey man, I got this auto rifle. It's called the Suros Regime. He goes, it's pretty good. So,
Soros Regime, yeah.
And then, that's history, right? That's history. So those would be the main two.
What is your outgoing philosophy with the Crucible? When you hit that launch a game mode to play, is there anything that you have in mind in advance of the game or that you seek to set out to do, achieve, or experience? Or is it just hit launch, play, whatever rolls up, rolls up?
So I'm a big Rumble player, and of course I play with my friends. But when no one's on, I'm playing Rumble, and I think I'm top whatever in Rumble. But when I go into Rumble, I work on certain things in my game, and I always have some sort of goal. And whether it be one game, here's an example. I'll go in and say it's my first game of the day. I'm only going to be focusing on being in cover in every single engagement. So I'll do 2 games of that, and then the next game I'm like, all right, we're hitting the head. No matter what, we're hitting the head. Next game, it's going to be first shot. So I'll actually get into engagement. I see him, he sees me. If he nails me, I'll just disengage because I'm trying to teach myself when and, to get in out of a situation. So, because when you start playing, you get kind of mindless, if that makes sense. And if you work on these things individually, they start sticking out as an overall, it kind of flows into your, I call it your autopilot play, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Well, when I start playing, I do work on certain things. Sometimes it's my hand cannon shot. I'm like, you know what? Today we're working on hand cannons, and sometimes it's pulses. Sometimes it's going to be my my movement with secondaries, and I'm mostly a sniper. And last time I kind of got a lot of people got pushed into shotguns, but now I'm getting back into that. I'm trying to in Rumble you have that 60-second timer. I'm working on going box to box. With the sniper rifle and, trying to acquire as much as I can without taking the deaths and losing it and starving other people. So I'm having a really good time with this patch, and it's either a popular opinion or it's not. And that's what's nice about Destiny. There's so many ways that you can play it. You can do you, and you can have fun with whatever subclass that you're doing it. And some people's play styles were kind of taken away from them, and that's kind of a shame, but again, we're going to talk about Destiny and Bungie here. It's the same game, but we've played it so differently throughout the years, and I find that fascinating, and I find that fun. It's something new to play, and sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. It's a love-hate type deal, but this one I really love.
We've had a recent sandbox change, very, very recently. I'd love to get your thoughts on these changes. What's the initial knee-jerk reaction so far?
So the initial knee-jerk reaction, I like it, okay? But, I mean, I have... My top tools of destruction are weapons, and then, the shotgun's, 6th, and then the sniper's 5th. So I use my primary a lot. And where some people, it's more, especially the old Sunsingers, right? I mean, it was a lot of grenades, a lot of melee, lots of shotguns. Yeah. But there's a couple things that they did right. There's a couple things that they did wrong. And I would say that they're 80% on track. But the deal is they have to follow up. And we kind of discussed this, before we started recording here. Yeah. The deal with Bungie is they'll put something out and it kind of goes on. It kind of lingers. Where if something is fixed almost immediately, we can get everything on track. A lot of people are talking about recovery. So the Blade Dancer nerfed a lot of things, and with that nerf, there's 2 ways you can look at it. One, which the way I'm kind of looking at it, well, if the Blade Dancer's not doing it and everything else is not doing it, it's balanced, right? But then again, if you specifically want to nerf the Blade Dancer, you got to let everything else have all their stuff back. There's a lot of issues with recovery, like Red Death. So I think that should be addressed and should be addressed soon. Yeah. And the deal with sidearms, there's supposed to be that emergent situation, and I'm finishing games with 100 reserve. And the special ammo changes, if you guys haven't really noticed, I mean, you're still getting kind of the same amount of ammo, but you're just reloading a lot. So maybe they could just kind of automatically put it in your mag without the reload, or With sidearms, I kind of wish that they would just get their 18 rounds back instead of acquiring, because as it sits right now, a lot of people run around with the sidearms, which is okay. You know, that's a new meta, right? That's a new meta that we could adjust to, or they could change it. You know, that's up to Bungie. So, but for the most part, I'm enjoying it. You're seeing a lot more icebreakers, and I just don't want to get to the point to where, as we needed the clever dragon with high caliber rounds, that we need an icebreaker. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Which brings me on to the next question. What would you have done differently with this patch?
Initially, the thing that immediately runs is those sidearms. But it's not so if they're going to push this primary meta, they need to fully push the primary meta. Yeah. Because it's kind of halfway right now. I think that the sidearm, first of all, it's always been good. The sidearm has always ripped, especially if you have like a crowd controller reactive reload sidearm. It really shreds people. But now they don't have the shotgun really to counteract you. So at those mid ranges, it's kind of like a last word, right? It's kind of like and some people are running what I call the dual last word combo, and it's not fun. Basically, I still think it should start with those 8, with the 12 and the 8, so the magazine and a half, because when people do have special ammo, you can still defend yourself, and then more likely than not, it's going to be time for another box, so you can get 40 back or whatever, 20, 30 in reserve and go on from there. But they need to separate PvE and PvP. Like, that's fact. When you nerf something, it has to be within its realm. So, like, the very first thing, and like, truth got nerfed, all right? So the deal with truth, that's going to be my first example. Yeah. Now, a lot of people use truth because there was no exotic warranting usage in the primary or secondary category, aside from last word. So people have their high caliber clever dragons, they have their matador, that's not switching, so you're using truth. So when they say, we see a lot of usage from truth, that's because there's nothing warranting usage. So they nerf it 2-1. Well, that hurts the PvE guys. I don't agree with that. And when the very first Iron Banner came out with the Suros regime, again, the Suros is just everywhere, so they nerf all auto rifles instead of the Suros. Well, the Suros was also a good PvE weapon. It had high caliber rounds, and you got health back after a kill. So they need to separate and be a little bit more careful with PvE and PvP. That's the number one thing going in Destiny 2. They must do that.
Best advice for someone looking to be successful in the Crucible post 2502?
Everyone plays a little bit differently. Like I said, that's what's nice about Destiny. You have to find out what works for you. Like, I'm a hand cannon user, so hand cannons are really good right now. But I would take a chance on different things that you're not used to. Like, a lot of people have never really played Gunslinger, and they're trying to play Gunslinger and they like it. And of course, I'm a big Gunslinger fan. But what's nice about this meta, okay, when metas change, it's the best part of Destiny because there's so much different variety, there's so much diversity before people kind of figure out what's the go-to, what's the best. Like right now, I'm slaying with the spare change with counterbalance right now in hand laid stock. I'm having a really good time with it, but don't try to kind of fix on what's the best or what everybody says the best. Use different things because something might really play to your play style and what you like. Give it a chance.
What are your ultimate hopes and ultimate fears for Destiny 2?
My ultimate hopes, well, first of all, I trust Luke Smith, okay? I like him. With him at the reins, with him running everything, I trust what he does. I mean, at this point, it's speculation. We hear 60 frames. I heard it was an article a long time ago. It might have been, I forget who it was, but they're saying that, there's like open world, like patrols, or there's open world, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like outposts that you can go to, bigger. So what's nice about Destiny 2 is it's going to be for the new console. So there's no limitations from what I hear, 60 frames, et cetera, et cetera. Like in theory, it should be 60 frames. It's in history tells you, right, when you take Halo 2, Modern Warfare 2, our Gears of War 2, a lot of the second installments of games are their best and most remembered because the first game was so successful and they just build on it. So I have high hopes for Destiny 2 and what it could bring. And I think that the development team has been working on Destiny 2 for a long time, and that's some of the reason why some of the stuff in Destiny 1 is taking a little bit longer than we would like. It's because they're full steam on the new game, which I'm okay with. Do it right, and take your time with it.
Now it's time for the plugs, because you've done absolutely fantastically here. Where can we find you and your work, your videos and everything?
So I am on YouTube. It would be youtube.com/CoolGuyTips. And I'm on Twitter. I like talking to people on Twitter, and I do different things on Twitter. It is I am CoolGuyYT. But that's basically it. I want to get into it a little bit more. A lot of people push me. They want me to stream. And I just got a green screen, which is pretty cool. It's kind of big. I got a big one. I don't know why I did, but I think that could be fun. I want to start streaming, and I do like playing with people. So, if you send me a message, more often than not, I'm going to get back to you, and we can play some Clash or some Control. So those are the main two.
We're going to have the link to your channel, and if you've already created the Twitch in waiting, we can stick that in the description as well. But if not, then just stay tuned to CoolGuy's Twitter, and obviously he'll be using and spamming the old Twitch link as and when on the YouTube channel. And you're actually going to be a guest on the Planet Destiny podcast this Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific time, aren't you?
Oh, I'm so excited. It's one of those first time caller, long time listener type situations. I mean, I listen to them every week, man. It's such good content. It's such good, no matter what you're doing. So I'm very excited to get in and talk with you guys about this patch, because that's probably, I haven't really heard anything what we're talking about. That's going to be the main subject. Am I right?
I think so. How the patch has been playing, and what are people's thoughts and feelings. So I'm really excited to have you on this one, because I think that you've got a great way of looking at all the dimensions involved with this. And you also have a fairly decent positive attitude, as well as a nice critical attitude. I'm very interested in people having a balance between, the positive and the negative. I think things can be kind of very skewed when it's either overly positive and then overly negative, and this balance is great, and you're going to be a fantastic guest for that. So this Sunday at 7 o'clock Pacific time, so make sure everybody tunes in for that. But in the meantime though, huge thanks for coming and doing this spotlight, this hot seat for us. I'm very thankful to the viewers as well for watching this. Thanks for watching, guys. And make sure you're there. 7 o'clock Sunday Pacific time for the Planet Destiny podcast, and our guest will be the fantastic CoolGuy.
I appreciate it, guys. And thank you, Story, for having me.
No problem. Anytime at all. Right then. Well, that's it from us. Thank you very much indeed, and we'll all see you later.